What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are having a great week and had a great trading week. We got one more day left. Today's Thursday. It's actually Thursday night. I'm just recording the video. Gonna be going over a couple trades. I didn't go over any of my trades this week, so I'm just gonna kind of go over those. I'm gonna do a little trade or a few trade recaps, I guess. Try and get some sauce in this vid, and then yeah, where my funded accounts are at and whatnot. So anyway, I kind of lost my train of thought. I was doing something else, but this is my current week, or this is my trading week so far. I'm not gonna trade tomorrow, so this is my final trading week. It's looking pretty good within the past week. Honestly, within the past like 2 weeks, almost kind of. I've had only one red trading day on this account. So Monday was the day I took the payout. You can see I farmed a winning day here. Then Tuesday got break evened, and then Wednesday and Thursday are the trades I'm going to be going over. You can see on Wednesday I lowered my risk substantially. Honestly, same with today, but the reason I lowered my risk so much was because after I took the payout, I only had about $1,000 left in drawdown on the account, so I only risked like $200 just so I could slowly build up that buffer. I'll get mainly into today's trade, and then I'll kind of quickly go over yesterday's trade as well. So today's trade, coming into the day, price was ranging around here. You can see these like bearish 1 hour candles. You can see on the hourly, we actually were pretty bearish, sorry. But something to keep in mind is that we are still at all-time highs. You know, we saw a bit of a retracement, obviously, but we're still trading at all-time highs. Or the hourly is looking somewhat bearish. If you go on the daily, it's like, okay, we're seeing like a little bit of a retracement. And then if you go to the weekly, it's like, okay, we're obviously still bullish. But anyway, our high time frame key levels that we have today are this 1 hour imbalance, bullish, which we were reacting off of coming into market open, and then we have all this sell side liquidity that we just swept. So I was expecting a move up, to be honest. We also had this SMT at this low. Okay, yeah, so high time frame key levels, we have, actually it was a 4 hour imbalance that we're delivering out of, and then we have a lot of sell side that we just swept coming into market open. So I was fairly bullish. I obviously wanted to see what market would do off New York market open, and we got a nice Judah swing, or 930 patty swing. This is the model. I made a video on this. This is exactly what it is, really. So you can see 930 opens, and we get a nice manipulation leg down. I believe this was also an SMT. I can triple check. Yes, this is an SMT. We have an SMT at these kind of just swing lows. We also have, these were 15-minute bullish fair value gaps here that we tapped into, while the whole time being inside this 4 hour and at all-time highs. So this was honestly pretty A+. This definitely was trade of the day, in my opinion. Actually, there was also another setup here, which was pretty nice, this short. A lot of people caught this as well. Both very nice. Anyway, so yeah, I was super confident to take this. My entry was off the 30-second. I just use Project X to actually chart, and then I use my executions on TradingView just because I don't have the 30-second time frame on TradingView. But we had a 30-second IFEG and CISD. So another like huge thing you should be looking for if you trade IFEGs, the strongest IFEGs you will see are ones that also have a CISD with them. So a good example actually is this short. Or I can show you even on the 30-second time frame for this trade that I took, because this will help your win rate out so much if you wait, or if you look for IFEGs with the CISD as well. For example, here we have, again, this was the trade I took. A lot of people took it just at the 30-second IFEG here, and we actually might have got it, the CISD. But anyway, I waited for like complete CISD, and what that means is, you can see here, imagine like none of these candles are formed yet. We have a little downtrend, or a leg down at least you could call it, on 30 seconds. So we have a low, and then we have a bullish candles here, which makes this a swing high. Then we have a low, and then as you can see, a CISD is when we close above that high. So that's what I'm waiting. And then what I mean by that is that with it, when you pair with the IFVG, is if there's also, like in this exact scenario, if there is a, in this case, a bearish fair value gap here as well, you want to wait for the IFVG plus the CISD, which is what I did. So what I actually did in this exact scenario was we already had a strong close on this 30-second IFVG. So then I just waited for price to kind of displace above this swing high, and then I kind of just like entered out of discretion. I didn't like 100% wait for the candle closure for the CIC, but that's kind of what I mean. And as you can see, you mark it at the body wick, and price actually tends to retrace to the CIC before running up. So that's actually a huge thing that I've been doing to increase my win rate, is specifically waiting for IFVGs or looking for IFVGs, and then pairing that with CISD, because it just makes it like a lot more powerful. So yeah, this was pretty A+. We had high time frame sponsorship. We also had low time frame sponsorship with this 15-minute gap. We had an external SMT, 30-second IFVG, 30-second CISD, and then also we had the AMD model. Sorry. So a huge thing with the model in general is like, this is the model, say, so to speak, is AMD models / PO3. So you kind of always want to wait, or you always want to see some form of this in every setup, unless there's like a clear reason not to. For example, like a super strong draw, or I don't know, like it in very few scenarios should you take a setup where there isn't a clear AMD. But as you can see in this scenario, we have all this accumulation coming into market open, or like pre-market, and then market opens, we get this nice manipulation leg down, boom. And then what we can expect is distribution out of that after we get the IFVG. So this is like PB calls it the PDI model. It's really just AMD, and then you take the distribution leg. And yeah, so you want to look for this really in any setup that you see, with the model, at least with the IFG model. And by the way, my target for this trade was the unfilled 1 hour, right here. Yeah, as you can see. So we had this 1 hour bearish gap, boom, ooh, bearish gap, and my target was just the opening to that. As you can see, we wicked it, and then we actually got a larger retrace down, and then we swept this external low, and then price came up and filled more of this gap. So there's actually a lot of setups today. You know, you realistically could have taken this again, just like going over what I said, using this as an example. You could have waited for this sweep. We're in this 4 hour. We had a large sweep of liquidity, and then we had this IFVG. Personally, I would have waited for this candle, or even just to displace, because we have the IFVG, and then we also have the CIST. Both of these setups, we have good structure, and what I mean by that is we have the nice AMD model. Again, we have accumulation, manipulation, distribution. In this, if you took this long, we have a swing low. We come up, we actually make accumulation, generate LRL right here. So we have engineered highs right here. Then we come down, sweep this, and then we have distribution up. And you could have taken the IFG or the IFG plus CIC. These are all good setups, again, because we have such good structure. However, if you're in a scenario with not as good structure, something you can do is you can wait for the IFG plus CISD, and it just makes it have that a little bit more confluence. But I would always recommend waiting for good structure. Um, so yeah, that was, I would say these are the three main setups today. I don't know if I actually saw anyone take longs. I saw a lot of people take shorts off this 1 minute IFG. Again, we have the, okay, I'll go over this one more time. So here, the reason this setup worked as well, this short setup, sorry, we're delivering out of this 1 hour gap now, and we can use that as our condition, as well as we swept like all these internal highs. So, and then also we have this 5 minute 930 bearish gap. So something like also really important, this probably was a BPR on the low time frame. Yeah. So the reason this setup was so good, or shorts played out as well, was because of this 5 minute bearish gap, and then it's also like a 3 minute BPR. But yeah, BPR used in the right scenario is like a lot stronger than just like a random fair value gap, especially this one because it is sponsored by this 1 hour. So this is a sponsored 3 minute BPR. So this is like a super strong gap to use as a condition for shorts. So we have, again, retrace to this BPR. A big thing again is this gap is sponsored by this 1 hour, this unfilled 1 hour. So we have this retrace. We have accumulation. We don't technically get a manipulation leg on NQ, but we do have an SMT there. So ES sweeps this. So it's the same like effect. And then we have a nice 1 minute IFEG. Again, you could also have waited for this candle, because what do we also have with this? The CISD. So we have the CISD plus IFEG. Again, that's just for more confluence. So all in all, like, so many great setups today. But yeah, this video is already kind of going on long, so I'm going to cut it there. But I hope you guys could take something out of this video. Like I said, I will not be trading tomorrow, so I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I hope you guys had a great trading week, and I will see you guys next week.